Yo, what is up, guys? TheFlawlessWin here today, and today we have another UU match against somebody by the name of DallasBoy1992. He has a YouTube. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link to it in the description. But yeah, I have not been uploading as often as I used to in the past couple weeks, and the reason for that is because I've had exams, and they've been pretty damn time-consuming. And you know, I'm sure you've heard this from a bunch of other commentators, but exams are very important, and they do take precedence over Call of Duty and Pokemon. So yeah, I've just been studying for exams, passing exams, just doing my job in the past couple of weeks. But my last exam was this Wednesday, so my school's officially over, and I do have a lot more free time on my hands to hopefully make some more Call of Duty and Pokemon videos to upload. So yeah, I'm hoping to upload every Sunday and Thursday now, instead of just every Sunday, because like I said, I have a lot more free time, and if I do get the opportunity, I might even upload 3 or 4 times a week. So yeah, that's something to look forward to. But let's go ahead and get into this battle we have here. It is a UU match, like I said, and look at my opponent's team. It has a pretty solid defensive core with that Blastoise, Gligar, and Snorlax. It's going to be hard to break through, but I should be able to play around it. And also that Roserade, if it's defensive, it will just make his defensive core even more annoying to get rid of. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell if his Roserade is defensive or offensive, because he really could go either way. It just depends on whether he wanted a more defensive team or a more balanced team. But I guess I'm just going to have to scout to see what kind of Roserade that is. So my main strategy to win this game is set up all my entry hazards with my Swampert and Roserade, and not let them be spun away with my Sableye. And after I get all my entry hazards up and secure, I'm basically going to have to do some wall breaking with my Machamp, because looking at his team, my Machamp can do some pretty solid work, because I do have Ice Punch for his Gligar, and his only other defensive wall is his Blastoise. And I mean, Blastoise can take hits, don't get me wrong, but after entry hazards damage, it really won't want to take repeated hits. So yeah, after I get that wall breaking done, I can hopefully do some sweeping with my Azelf or my Raikou. So yeah, that's the game plan. Set up all my entry hazards, don't let them get spun away, do some wall breaking, and get a late game sweep going. So yeah, pretty detailed plan, but hopefully I can pull it off. So I figure I lead off with Swampert, because Swampert can deal well with all his potential leads and hopefully set up Stealth Rocks. All his potential leads except for his Roserade, but thankfully he does not lead off with his Roserade. He leads off with his Mienshao, as it just U-turns out, and I sponge that as I set up my Stealth Rocks. He brings in his Roserade, and I really don't know what kind of Roserade this is, like I said, so I go into my own Roserade expecting either a Giga Drain or a Sleep Powder, or maybe even him to set up some spikes, which is what he does. And we're just going to exchange some spikes here, and him having spikes basically confirms to me that he is a more defensive set and not the offensive set. So this defensive core is going to be annoying to break through, so instead of setting up his third layer of spikes here, he actually switches out into a Snorlax, and this thing might be offensive with Fire Punch. I really don't know what kind of Snorlax he's running, but I don't really want to take a physical hit at all, because I haven't said that yet. What am I saying? Yeah, I really don't want to take a physical hit, because Roserade is pretty damn frail on the physical side. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out into my Machamp. Pretty confident that I can take any hit and retaliate with a Dynamic Punch, but he actually doubles out into his Blastoise, I guess expecting this switch. Or expecting some kind of switch, I don't know. So I know the switch to Sableye here is really, really obvious, so I'm going to make a really risky play and stay in, get a really nice amount of damage off with this Dynamic Punch, and just let him Toxic my Machamp instead of so what's it called? Sableye. Yeah, I didn't want him to Toxic my Sableye so he wouldn't be able to stall me out, and I get a really nice amount of damage off with that Dynamic Punch, like I said, and it also confuses him. So yeah, that was a pretty risky play, because I did set up Stealth Rocks and 2 layers of spikes, and he might have predicted me to stay in and had gone for the Rapid Spin. So yeah, but it does pay off in the end, and now I do switch out into my Sableye, and he just hits himself in confusion. I'm going to go ahead and go for the taunt here, because I don't want him to break out of his confusion and hit me with the Toxic. But he actually does not go for the Toxic, he goes for the Scald, and I really don't care if he burns me, because I'd much rather be burned than Toxic, and I can just recover off all the burn damage. And yeah, right here I'm just going to go ahead and go for the Will-O-Wisp because Leftovers actually is bringing him back up to a decent amount of health, and I don't want that to be happening. And with him burned, he's actually losing 6% of his health every turn instead of gaining 6%, which is really nice. And he can scald me really all he wants because I can just recover off all the damage he does to me and eventually wear him down with the burn. And he does realize that right here, and he's going to switch out into his Roserade as I go ahead and go for the recover, get a launch of HP back, which is really nice. My Sableye just doing work here, stalling out his whole team, and this recover brings me pretty much back to full. I think I do go back to full after this turn, so that's really nice. And he does have some options here. He can go for the attack or go for the spikes. I could go for the taunt because I don't want 3 layers of spikes. 2 layers of spikes is fine with me, but he actually predicts the taunt and goes for the Sludge Bomb, and I don't know if he was predicting some kind of switch or trying to get the poison, or maybe he just forgot that Ghost resists poison. I don't know. I mean, Poison and Ghost is a pretty awkward type combination. You don't really see those two very often. Or not type combination, type interaction. So yeah, you don't really see those two very often. Maybe he forgot that because after he goes for the Sludge Bomb, he goes for the Giga Drain, as I go for the Will-O-Wisp. I know this thing does have Natural Cure, but I just want to get some residual damage off as I try to stall this thing out, and his Giga Drain actually does do a decent amount of damage, so yeah, that's kind of annoying, and Sableye is just being a major douchebag here, just stalling out this Roserade, and I'm kind of getting bored with this, and I'm pretty confident, since his taunt wears off this turn, that he's either going to go for the Spikes or the Giga Drain, and not the Sludge Bomb. So I decided to switch out into my Azolf, but he actually does predict the switch, which is a pretty nice play on his part, and goes for the Sludge Bomb, gets a really nice amount of damage off on my Azolf, and in addition to that, he gets the Poison off, which is kind of annoying because my Azolf is Life Orbed, and Life Orb and Poison damage is going to rack up really quickly, especially since I'm already at, I think, what, 30% health left, so yeah, I know he's going to fear the Psyshock right here, and he's going to want to keep his Roserade alive since it's at a decent amount of health. So I know he's going to want to switch out here as I just go for the U-turn, and this gives me a free switch out into my my champ, which is really nice because it's either going to make him leave in his Snorlax's Death Water, which is really nice because it allows my Raikou and my Azolf a lot more leeway, or it's going to force him to switch out, which is what he does. I guess he wants to keep his Snorlax's Death Water, or possibly even get off a rest later in the battle. So yeah, he switches out into his Gligar, and I do carry the Ice Punch on my Machamp, and I figure after Stealth Rock's damage and the Dynamic Punch damage, that an Ice Punch will be able to knock him out, and he U-turns here, and he does not hard switch. I don't know why, because he really could have got confused there and just died, so I asked him about that, and he told me he wasn't expecting me to have the Ice Punch, so I don't know if Ice Punch is really a common move on Machamp or not. Smogon suggested Thunder Punch, so I guess it's not really recommended, but without Ice Punch, Machamp really can't do anything to Gligar, so that's the only reason I put Ice Punch on there. So yeah, I hit the incoming Blastoise with my Ice Punch, and this thing is pretty much dead, so yeah, all I have to do is make sure he does not Rapid Spin here. Blastoise actually is faster than Machamp, which is kind of weird considering it's a damn turtle, but I guess Machamp doesn't really look like the fastest thing either, but yeah, I just wanted to make sure he did not Rapid Spin there, so I just go out into my Sableye. I don't care if he knocks me out with the Scald Burn, or Torrent Boosted Scald, because my Sableye has pretty much done its job. Stalled out his Spinner and stalled out his Roserade for a little. So on the double down, I go out into my fastest Pokemon, which is my Choice Scarf for Raikou, as he goes out into his Mienshao, and I know for a fact that Thunderbolt will knock him out from that range, so well, not even a Thunderbolt, an Extra Sensory will. Yeah, I have Extra Sensory on this thing, I forgot. So yeah, I know for a fact that Extra Sensory will knock him out from that range, so I'm going to go ahead and go for it, and I'm pretty sure nothing on his team will want to take it. His Snorlax is so low, and I don't think he'd want to bring in Gligar, just in case I predicted that, and went for the Hidden Power Ice, so he just goes out into his Roserade. I don't know if he is using his Death Water, or he was expecting the Thunderbolt, but anyways, I'm able to knock that thing out, and he brings in his Snorlax, which is a mistake for him, because I guess he just thought he would live with enough to get off a rest, but no. He barely lives at all, so my extrasensory is able to knock him out. I do get a crit, but I'm pretty sure that didn't matter, so now he brings in his own Raikou, and I'm pretty sure a Scarfed Raikou's extrasensory won't do anything to another Raikou, so what I'm going to go ahead and do is switch out into my Swampert. I'm pretty sure I can't be 2-hit KO'd by anything, except if he has a Hidden Power Grass or something, but most of the time these things run Hidden Power Ice. So yeah, he gets off extrasensory, which I assume is Specs, and he tries to kill me with another one, but Swampert is just such a boss that he's able to live that extrasensory and kill him with the Earthquake, so yeah, Swampert just doing work right here, but this does leave me at a very revenge-killable range, and he brings in his Gligar, and I know he cannot roost up here because I do threaten him with Torrent-boosted Water Attack, so he's just going to go ahead and knock me out with the Earthquake. And now I can bring in my Raikou, and I do know for a fact that Mienshao is 2-hit KO'd after Stealth Rocks and Spikes if it switches in, so he just decides to leave in his Gligar to die. And that leads him with his last Pokemon, which is his Mienshao, which he brings in right now. And I don't think a Hidden Power Ice will knock him out, and if this thing knocks out my Raikou, then it can sweep my team, so I'm going to have to sack something, bring back in my Raikou, and knock it out with a stronger attack than Hidden Power Ice. So I just decide to sack my Azelf, bring back in my Raikou, and knock him out with a Thunderbolt. So yeah, that will be the game. Thank you, DallasBoy1992, for a decent battle, and yeah, go ahead and check out this guy's channel if you guys want to, and have a great day.